Good evening, everybody, and welcome to your module introduction for emotional intelligence. I hope you will enjoy the module and find benefit in this session. For those watching the recording and for those of you who are live in the session, thank you so much for taking the time out to join me. I hope the rest of the class will be joining us either during the course of the session or at least from our first formal e-tutorial onwards, as this is your official time slot for the EMO e-tutorials. But first and foremost, to just introduce myself very briefly to you guys, although I did see some of you in the BBA orientation session, my name is Karl-Heinz Michael, and I'll be your e-lecturer on this course. Between us and the doorpost and anybody watching the recording, this is my favorite subject that I'm involved in, so I'm very, very, very passionate about it. Just a bit of background, I do have a psych degree, hence why I'm the lecturer on emotional intelligence, but I'm also the head of the financial services faculty at Chartl, as my background is predominantly in financial services, as I've got a postgrad in that as well as in higher education. I'm also a lifelong student, currently busy doing 5 qualifications at once, so I can definitely relate to what you guys are going through. I can empathize with you. I know the sacrifices that one needs to make when doing these studies, and that's also why my door is always open to you guys for any advice or queries or assistance that you might need, because I can definitely relate. So even though this is an e-learning or self-study qualification as a whole, I am here to assist you throughout the course of the module, as well as on your journey throughout the BBA. You're welcome to email me and check in with me after the module is done for any advice or support that I can give you from my side. So you guys are welcome to contact me at any time. Please email me at karl@chartl.co.za. Because of my other duties during the course of the day, it's very seldom that you'll probably get hold of me on the landline. So it's preferable to communicate via email, because then I can respond to you as soon as I possibly can. But I want to encourage you guys to please make use of every avenue available to you when engaging with us, with your fellow classmates, etc. So use the EMO forum to introduce yourself, to ask questions, to start a discussion on a topic if you want to make suggestions if you want anything to be amended or have any requests, and we'll try and comply as best we can. And of course, to engage with your peers. What most of the guys on the EMO module have done in the past is that they've created a WhatsApp group amongst themselves, and that's completely up to you guys. I would just suggest that if you do decide to create a WhatsApp group, please elect a module class captain, if you want to call it that. A little bit of a throwback to high school, primary school, so that that person can engage with me on WhatsApp as well, on behalf of the group. So let me know, whoever you guys have internally selected as your representative, and then I'll be in touch with that person to make sure that I can support you guys on that platform as well. But I'm going to leave that up to you guys. If you prefer not to have a WhatsApp group, that's also cool. It's not compulsory. It's just another means of you guys being able to connect to each other. And especially in an e-learning environment, it's not always easy, given the fact that you guys are remote, you guys are online, you won't ever see each other in person until graduation, that is. But I do want you to really understand that you are not alone in this, especially for those of you whose first module this is on the BBA. I really want to drive the point home that my door is open to you guys, not just in terms of this module and its content, but for any support that I can give you guys. So please, please, please do stay in touch. And if you need to ask anything, please do so. The only stupid question is the one that is never asked. So stay in touch. Very importantly, know what you need to know. So I want to encourage all of you to please work through the documents uploaded to you guys on the BBA orientation page. But with specific reference to these 4 aspects: the student handbook, which will give you a lot of information on the course itself. Most definitely the APA referencing guide. Please keep that at hand for all your subjects going forward, because of the fact that your referencing in your assignments counts quite a large portion of your marks. So if you can get the referencing done correctly from day 1, you will be scoring marks for literally doing admin. So I really want to encourage you guys, really make sure that you're referencing both in your reference list and your in-text citations are perfect. We will touch on that again at a later stage, because I want to try and guide you guys on every aspect relating to the WIL assignment. So in our next e-tutorial, when we're going to be specifically looking at the first WIL assignment, I will be giving you guys some pointers and some guidelines on what to look out for on each of the assessment criteria for that first assignment. Also have a look at the academic writing guide. What is important to understand here, guys, is that all of your WIL assignments will be or should be academic in nature. In other words, what I always tell the guys, imagine you are writing an official article that is meant to be published in an academic journal. If that's your mindset going into an assignment, instead of thinking of it as relaying just personal experience or just researching facts and regurgitating it onto a paper, then you are guaranteed to have a good mark on certain of the WIL assignment criteria. I think the key thing for me there is know how to write an academic essay, and that's where the academic writing guide will come in handy. Again, this is one of the aspects I will address in our next session, but in the meantime, please work through that document quite thoroughly so that you have a good understanding of it by the time that we chat again. Know what your DP and your PASS requirements are so that you can work towards that. And my advice again to you guys here is do not miss an assessment, do not miss a quiz, do not miss an assignment, and give everything your best shot. Because if you can go into the exam with as high a formative assessment mark as possible, the less stress there will be on you to score high in the exam to counteract a low formative mark. So if you give your best throughout the trimester, then you can at least breathe a bit easier going into the exam itself. Please get to know your email course page as soon as possible. You've obviously found the e-tutorial link because you're in the session, for those of you who are, and work through your study guide systematically. Note the calendar that has been provided to you and know when we're on which week, so that you can submit your assignments and your quizzes on time, and all the other learning material that is loaded for you. So get comfortable with the course page. Where you get stuck on navigation issues or site-wide issues, please get in touch with Elizabeth and she can definitely help you with that. And we are here to support you all the way. So if you've also got a content query on something, or if one of the emo quizzes doesn't want to load, or if a page is not opening on your side, whatever the case may be, if you need any help on the emo course page, either contact Elizabeth from an administrative point of view, or you're welcome to get in touch with me as well. Then I'll ask our IT guys to look into that for you. Very importantly, guys, please use either Google Chrome or Microsoft Edge to access the site and the learning material. For those of you who are still on Internet Explorer, it's been discontinued. There are no further updates on that. It is now so outdated that very few things run on it. It was replaced by Microsoft Edge, and the LMS, the Learner Management System that Chartwell uses, runs based on primarily Google Chrome, but otherwise Microsoft Edge. You will also come right with Mozilla Firefox and some of the other internet browsers, but Google Chrome would be the safest option, in my opinion, to make sure that you have access to everything. Just as a side note, if you guys are accessing the page and the course content from a work computer, just make sure that your IT guys have given you the necessary clearance for both Chartwell's site as well as YouTube, because most of the videos are hosted via YouTube. So even though the link is on the course page, the video itself is uploaded on YouTube. So if you do not have clearance from your IT guys to access YouTube, you might need to get that first. The next thing is I want to ask you guys and urge you guys to manage your time efficiently. Please follow the trimester calendar, which is on every one of your course pages, and try to submit your will assignments before the due date. You'll see that the submissions are always on a Monday evening by 1 minute to midnight. And I can tell you from past experience that at least 60 to 70% of the students wait until the Monday night at 11 p.m. to submit. And what sometimes happens is that you get load shedding, or there's a technical issue, the page doesn't want to load because you're on the wrong browser, or whatever the case may be. And as hardworking as we are, unfortunately, we're not always available at 11 p.m. on a Monday night to assist. So try and get your assignments done beforehand and try and submit it by the Monday morning or so that if you do run into any problems, you can get in touch with us before the submission closes. Please set aside time for your studies and work smart, not hard. So to give you guys an example, play to your strengths. I'm an absolute morning person. I'm an absolute insomniac. I only sleep 3 to 4 hours every single night and have been for the last 20 years. But by 9 p.m., my brain is fried, and then I'm not at my best. So I promise I won't be marking your assignments at 9 p.m. because I don't want to disadvantage you in that regard. But at 3 o'clock in the morning, I'm as happy and as chipper as anyone can be. And that's my most productive couple of hours in the day. So whenever I'm not busy with chartal work and marking assessments, I'm busy with my own studies from 3 a.m. to 6 a.m. because that is when I've got peace and quiet. I'm more productive, my brain is active and ready and good to go. You might be a night owl. In that case, set time aside for your studies after dinner, after family time. But the fact is, you have to have a conversation with your loved ones, with your friends, with your bosses, with your team members, and just tell them that you are busy with an absolutely life-changing qualification, because this is what it is. I promise you, the BBA is a phenomenal qualification to have and will open quite a lot of doors for your professional futures. So they need to understand the importance thereof. Now, there's something in economics called opportunity cost. And what that means is the cost of something that you give up in order to obtain something else. So in this case, it would be the time that you get to spend with the family, or movie night with friends, or attending drinks with coworkers after a long week on a Friday. You might need to give some of that up in order to achieve your best possible result for each of your subjects on this degree. And I promise you it will be worth it in the end. If you feel at any point in time that this is getting overwhelming and you don't know why on earth you signed up for this, you want to run for the hills, please chat to me. I'm here to be your cheerleader. If you need me to put on a little tight little outfit and a hula skirt and grab pom-poms and cheer you on, I'll do that by all means. I'm here to support you all the way. And I promise you, Elizabeth, Simon, and the rest of the BBA team are as well. The main reason why I joined Chartal in the first place is because I experienced firsthand as a Chartal student a couple of years ago the support that was given from both the administrative, tech, and academic team. And I've never come across anything like it in my entire life. And we really are here to champion you all the way. So please, guys, do not give up. Do not throw in the towel. Do this. It is worth it. So in order to get the marks that you guys deserve, please first and foremost, do not plagiarize or copy from each other. So plagiarism, guys, it's treated very, very seriously. We had a couple of incidents last trimester where, unfortunately, hearings had to be held and students had to be addressed on that situation. So please do not copy and paste from any resource, not online, not from your study guide, not from articles. Everything must be in your own words. Otherwise, it's plagiarism. We have to follow process. You'll get 0 for the assessment, and it'll put you at a huge disadvantage. And of course, not to mention the potential of not being able to complete the qualification. The same goes for copying. Please do not share your work with others, even if they tell you, even if they're your best friend and they tell you that they won't copy and paste from you. Sometimes it happens. Sometimes it happens inadvertently. You're welcome to bounce ideas off each other or share articles or share website links with each other, but always make sure that it's your own work that you're submitting. Never ever share your assignment with somebody else. Okay. Make sure that you used APA referencing. It is critically important. The sooner you guys get this mastered, the better off you'll be, because like I said, it counts 1/6 of every single one of your assignments going forward. So the sooner you know how to do it and how to do it correctly, the better off you'll be. In this subject, there's going to be a lot of personal experience that you're going to bring to the table. It is arguably the most esoteric of the subjects on the BBA degree, in that you will delve deep into your own psyche, in your own soul, and you'll be looking at your hubby, your wife, your children differently. You'll be looking at your colleagues especially differently. You'll be looking at your boss differently as you progress through this module, because obviously emotional intelligence is grounded in psychology. And whether you think it's absolutely true and correct and worthwhile, or if you think it's absolute boo hockey, that's also fine. But the content that you'll be covering this module, at the end of the day, you still need to study it, you still need to learn it, you still need to do assignments on it. And somewhere subconsciously, I promise you, some of the stuff is going to stick, and you are going to look at the world through different eyes. And part of your assignments are going to be reliving or revealing certain things about your work life, especially because after all, this is a Bachelor of Business Administration, emphasis on the business. So you will be evaluating yourself, your colleagues, your peers, your managers at some point in time. Granted, you won't have to name names or anything, but you will be looking at the different aspects of emotional intelligence as it relates to yourself and your colleagues. So yes, there will be a lot of application of the theory from your own perspectives, but guys, please balance everything out. All your opinions must be substantiated by facts, so always relay the theory as well. Make sure you've covered the theory in all your assignments before giving practical examples and giving your own experience. Some advice: please proofread your work. Use Microsoft Spell Checker, use Grammarly, whatever, but please check that your work is of a good quality from an academic perspective. Even though spelling and grammar is not why you are here, you're not doing a course on English literature at Oxford University. The fact is, you need to learn how to write academically. And for many of us, English is not our first language, so it will be a struggle for some, and we absolutely understand that. And that's why we're also very lenient in that regard in the initial assessments. But with all the tools available to you in this day and age, there should be very limited reason for bad spelling or bad grammar in an academic assignment. So if you do not trust Microsoft Word, Spell Checker, or Grammarly, ask someone in your life that you know is very proficient with English to just proofread your work for you, by all means. But let's submit quality assignments, guys. I want to point your attention to the WIL rubric, which is in your study guides on page 115, 116, and specifically this column on it. I want all of you to aim for 91 to 100%. And believe me, it is doable. I am not one of those lecturers that will give you 80% or 85% and giving the reason that I couldn't get 90, so why should you? Now, I'm not one of those people. Similarly, if you're sitting on 89% going into the exam, or you're sitting on 89% after the exam, I'll be the one to go look for that 1% to push you to 90. Similarly, if you're sitting on 74%, 1% shy of a distinction, I'll go find that mark for you. As well, if you're sitting on 49%, I'll go find that mark for you, because that is what a proper lecturer should be doing. He or she does not leave you hanging on 1% to get to a different symbol, whether it's a pass or a distinction or a magna or summa cum laude. So guys, please note, I am in your corner and I'm going to do whatever I can to get you to the highest mark that you possibly can get. Okay. Make sure that you understand each of the criteria for the will assignments. We will touch on this again next week. But what I want to drive home to you guys from the very beginning is this is your memo. This is already, you know how you're going to be assessed. Each one of these 6 aspects is what you'll be graded on in every single assignment. So make sure that you've covered every single topic from a holistic perspective, that you've looked at it from different angles, weighed up the pros and cons, you've looked at it from the theory perspective as well as the practical component, you've applied it, you've considered it, and given as much information as you possibly could. Make sure that you've shown your understanding. Like I said, simply copying and pasting or right-click synonyming your way through an assignment, it's not going to cut it. You have to show that you actually understood what you've read, what you've researched, what you know about the topic being discussed. So even if you're not sure, read up more about it. Go watch YouTube videos, go do additional research, which you're required to do on a degree, and make sure that you understand what a topic is about. Make sure that you analyze what you're discussing. So look at the pros and cons, the strengths, the weaknesses, the advantages, the disadvantages. Always compare aspects to get a full picture of what the topic is about. Write as objectively as possible. And I know this is going to be hard on this subject because of the personal nature of a lot of the things you'll be discussing. But bearing in mind, if you keep that mindset of you're writing an academic article, then it's okay. You can still relay personal experience, but in an objective manner. And then obviously your insights, what you've gained, what you've understood, what you're taking away from each of the learning activities. That should be evident in what you're writing. The recommendations criterion is the one where students most often struggle with. And I want to give you guys the heads up from the very, very beginning. Put this as a heading in every single essay that you write, because that'll make sure that you don't forget about it and that you give enough information to be able to score high marks on this. So the recommendation criterion here is to look at what suggestions you can make based on the topic to either improve a situation, to implement a training program at your organization, to advance better communication skills, to make sure people are more mature and more willing to assist, to be better leaders, etc., based on the topics of the EMO module. But the fact is, if you've got it as a heading in your assignment, it'll force you basically to consider those aspects, thinking about what you can suggest to make things better, either in your organization, in your own life, in your colleagues' world, in the country as a whole, for that matter. So really always incorporate recommendations in your assignments. The last 2 then relate purely to academic writing skills. Is your essay structured correctly? Are you using the correct mode of writing? Are you writing academically? Are you structuring your sentences and paragraphs correctly? Did you use correct grammar and spelling? And then obviously, did you include a reference list as per APA requirements? And did you have in-text citations for every single one of those references? So please, guys, make sure you have a look at the academic writing guide and the APA referencing guide on the BBA orientation page, because this is 1/3 of every single assignment that you'll be writing. So you can score 33.33% right here just by writing nicely and referencing correctly. Bonus marks. Go get them. This is a meme that I always include in every single one of my classes because it seems to be a common thread for the modern day online learner. So as RuPaul usually says, reading is what? Fundamental. Please make sure that you read every single email that I send to you guys, every single forum post that I do. I try to communicate with you guys as often as possible and to give you guys enough hints and tips and guidance along the way. But it's up to you to make use of that information and that feedback and those tips and guidance and implement it. And you can only do that if you read and understood it. Same as with your course material. You'll be able to put together a lovely research item as a submission for your will assignment, but that doesn't necessarily mean that you've met the criteria to pass. You have to understand what it is about. You have to relate to it. You have to give personal opinions and experiences and really bring the whole thing together. Theory plus practical application. So make sure that you read a lot, that you read everything that is shared with you so that you are aware of what is required. Okay. There is a plethora of resources at your disposal for this module. So beyond your study guide and the learning content that is uploaded to the course page, there are quite a few psych books on the Proligo online library. So make use of the email reading list. You're welcome to use other textbooks, Google Scholar, especially journal articles, and even some websites to do your research. Try and avoid things like Wikipedia. If you're going to use Wikipedia for any research that you're doing, look at the references on that page and rather go to the original source material and work from there. At the end of the day, academic writing, try and include as many printed resources as you're including online resources. And I just want to clarify for you guys here, any textbook, any article, any thing that you would normally find in a printed format. Even if it is online, you're still going to reference it as if you had the printed one in front of you. So you won't have to include the hyperlink for the textbook, for example, if you got it off Proligo. You will use the textbook name, the textbook details, the authors, the page numbers that you found it on. Do not put a URL, a website address for a textbook that you accessed. Even if you did it online, that's okay. The fact is you're still accessing a hard copy item. So make sure that you understand, again, the referencing required for a textbook, for a journal article, etc. And try to balance those out against the websites that you use to have an equal number of each. To get the most out of this course, guys, because of the hectic timelines that we've got and the fact that you've got quizzes every single week and 3 assignments that have to be submitted, and you only have 12 weeks of learning, start summarizing now. It is very difficult to really do summaries and all that in the week before the exam, especially if you've got a couple of modules in a trimester. So try and work smart, not hard, and get your summaries done whilst you work through the content. Fair warning, a heads up from the very beginning, even the online resources that are uploaded for you, there will be exam questions based on those. The videos that you watch, the articles that you read that are on the course page, between 25 and 50% of your exam paper will be based on those as well. So make sure that you understand those things and you understand what you read. The other 50% obviously then being your study guide. So engage in the course, make use of the multiple choice question quizzes every week to check your understanding. Do the activities in the study guide if you have the time for them to deepen your understanding. Your will assignments are crucial, not just from a marks point of view, but again, to master the content. Watch all the videos, watch extra videos. By all means, go onto YouTube and in your spare time, go watch a video or two on the topic to get a better understanding for it. Use the provided resources on your course page and most definitely do extra research. Again, because English is a second language for many of us, use Google Translate or Thesaurus if there are any words that you do not understand. At the end of the day, it's important that you feel comfortable with the content so that you can go into your assignments and the exam knowing what something actually is. Then this is just a reminder, I will be sending you guys the slides as well, so you don't have to screenshot or write this down. But these are our e-tutorial times. I'll try and send you guys reminders every time, but there won't be calendar invites every single time. So it's up to you to manage your e-learning and diarize these dates and sessions. So we will have a total of 5 contact sessions as a group. So tonight is your orientation session. Then we'll have a discussion ahead of each of the 3 will assignments, and then the exam preparation session. Now, usually the exam prep is held in week 13, but that's literally a week before the exam, and I don't want to put undue pressure on you guys, so I always do it in week 12, just to give you some more time to study what you need to study and know what to focus on, instead of doing it just the week before the exam. I've also included all the will submission dates for you, so you'll know when to submit what, and you'll see that your first assignment is due on Monday, the 10th of October, by 1 minute to midnight. So I'm hoping that you'll all be submitting by that morning already, so that you know that it's in and it's done and you're safe. Please do not miss any of the deadlines, guys. If you need an extension for any reason, communicate that ahead of time. So if, for example, you are going in for elective surgery, or you are doing another qualification, or you're writing a phase exam, for example, for the guys in the financial services industry, whatever the case may be, if there's a conflicting situation, you need to communicate this to us ahead of time. Please do not email me on Monday, the 10th of October at 11 p.m. saying, oh, you're almost done, but can you please get an extension? Because you had a hectic workday. No, come on, guys. We're all adults. We can do this, we can tackle this. It's called time management, and you guys can do this. So, but obviously life happens. So I'm completely open to and ready and willing and able to assist in the times of a crisis. Just communicate. Please, please, please do not be afraid to email me, to contact me and ask for help or guidance, or if needs be an extension based on serious circumstances. I'm definitely here to assist, and I'm more than willing to take your personal circumstances into consideration. But please, guys, try and adhere to these timelines and submit on time. And that's everything from my side in terms of what I definitely wanted to chat with you guys about. I'm going to end the recording here and hand over to the guys in the live session for any questions they might have. For the guys watching the recording, I hope you found it useful. And please, by all means, feel free to email me if you have any questions or want to clarify anything or need assistance. My door is open, and I look forward to working with all of you and seeing you excel in this module. Good luck, guys.